Thank you. Good evening, everybody. In shadows deep, where regret resides, a haunting chorus whispers inside. The lesson has been learned, but there's no solace to be gained. You see, the feelings are raw, where the sorrow remains. Lost chances and big dreams, now far, far out of reach. A bitter truth is what life did teach. There's no rewind that can be made in this somber play. Only reflections on yesterday. See, the moment's lost, forever gone, like a fading song that is distant and gone. Yet in those depths where darkness dwells, a flicker of hope still remains, and a tale it still tells. Good evening, dear listener. I hope that tonight my tale can help you along your journey. My tale begins in August of 2008. I was about 1 month away from my 27th birthday, and it was at that moment, over about a 2-week period, that a realization hit me like a ton of bricks. And in that moment, I remember feeling regret like I had never felt it before. It felt like this heavy cloud and a blanket that was squeezing me, and I just couldn't breathe. I couldn't get any energy. The sun didn't shine. The birds didn't chirp. The colors didn't seem so bright. You remember in Pirates of the Caribbean when Captain Barbossa was explaining Montezuma's Revenge? Yeah, it was kind of like that. You see, it was at that moment that I realized that no matter what I did, no matter how hard I worked, no matter how much effort I put into what I was doing, I could never change the reality of that moment. I could never go back. I could never make it better. And I would have to live with this feeling of regret, this feeling of pain, this feeling of failure for the rest of my life. Now, let's go back to some happier times to give you an understanding of how we got to that moment. See, ever since I can remember, I wanted to be a professional basketball player. And you know, a lot of kids have that dream. I'm not just saying that I wanted to play basketball. I was actually pretty good. I grew up, I played lots of different sports, and my parents encouraged me, my friends encouraged me. I played on different teams. I remember I was about 11 years old. Now, I skipped a grade when I was younger, so I was always younger than the people that I was in the grade with, but I was playing in this family reunion game, and I got to play with the adults. And if you know my family, you know that's a big deal, right? And while I'm playing in the game, I'm actually holding my own at 11. So much so that one of the coaches for the local high school, and this is in the city of Chicago, came up and grabbed my grandfather. He was like, "You've got to come play for me." Now I'm affirmed. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. That's right. My dream is coming true. I'm going to happen. Of course, my mom was like, nope, you are not going to that school in that place. Now, if you see me outside, I can tell you a lot of stories about why I didn't get to go to that school. But suffice it to say, that was one time that I got some affirmation of this belief. I call this period of life my believing in myself and dreaming big dreams period of my life, right? And over the course of my life, that dream was affirmed over and over again. I had different people that I knew that played either overseas or in the NBA that I played with, that I worked out with. I had different experiences, right, where teams came and recruited me. But everything that happened in this next phase of my life led to that fateful day in August 2008 that I like to call, in the infamous words of John Mayer, my quarter-life crisis. See, there was this moment right when I was going from 8th grade to 9th grade where I entered into this phase of life that I call the am I really good enough? Do I really believe phase of my life? And with hindsight being 20/20, I can call it that. At the time, it would sound more like the later. We'll get to that later phase of life. And so that phase started actually with a naysayer. Like I told you, I was getting all of this positive praise, all of these accolades, all of these things were happening to me, and I believed that I was good enough. But you know how they tell you not to read the comments when you're on social media, right? And it was just like that. I've got all of these positives, and you see positive, yes, you're awesome, you're great, you're this, you're that. But it's always that one jerk that gets all of your energy. Yeah, that's this phase of life. And so there was this kid when I was in 8th grade. He was angry because I made the basketball team, he didn't. Now, I was the new kid in school. My dad had just got out the Army. I came here, I made a team, he didn't. His brother is on the varsity basketball team. He's in with all the coaches, and this is where I started to learn the politics of basketball and all the not fun stuff. And in that moment, his voice kind of was the clarion call that constantly made me question myself. And so a series of events happened, and I didn't do as much as I wanted to do in high school. And then I went, but you know what? I can do it in college. And I went to the University of Illinois, D1 school, played with a lot of guys that actually went to the NBA, did a lot of stuff, but I didn't go out for the team. I didn't play in college because of ego and a bunch of other things, because I could do it later. I'll figure it out. I'll go get another degree somewhere else. I don't have to play with these people. I get offered an opportunity to play ball in Costa Rica. So I'm a study abroad student. This is my first senior year. I did 5 years. I got 2 degrees so that I could cover over the fact that I had a bad GPA. Right? But I'm down in Costa Rica and I'm playing, and I'm there, and I get, every weekday during lunchtime we're playing ball, because there's basically summer storms that happen about 1 to 2 o'clock. So if you're going to play outside, you're going to do anything, you're going to do it beforehand. So I'm playing with this local team, and I'm giving their best guy the business, so much so that they're all like, hey, you need to come meet our coach. We play all over. We play in Panama, we play in Colombia, we play in Costa Rica and Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, etc. But again, I was like, nah, I can't really go do that now, later. And a number of these opportunities happened over my life, and later was always the thing. Now, what I know now is that what was really going on was that voice that I'm not good enough was in the back of my head, that I wasn't really trying to put myself out there like that, because I always had later. I'll get good enough, I'll get that belief back, and I'll have later. And it was on that day in August of 2008 that it hit me that there is no more later. See, at that time, I'm now married. I have a wife and a daughter. I'm working 80 hours a week. I'm teaching, I'm coaching, I'm doing a lot of different things, and I'm not going to have that opportunity anymore. And I became the proverbial frog in the pot of water where it got in and it was cool, and then it boiled and it boiled and it boiled, and at the end of it, I realized that my dream had died. Now, the crazy thing about this story was it wasn't the naysayers, it wasn't the doubters, it wasn't the people who told me that I couldn't, that it killed my dream. I had to live forever with the knowledge and the understanding that my dream was dead, and I was the one who killed it.